ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे हविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पता न शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सेदसादरम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वती नमो नित्यम् भद्रकाल्ये नमो नमः। वेद वेदांत वेदांग विद्यास्थानेभ्यैव च सदा शिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधे वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायण। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Will 64th सूत्र onwards. द्युभवाध्यायतनं सशब्दा मुक्तोपसृप्य व्यपदेशात् नानुमानम् अतच्छब्दात् प्राणभृच्च भेदव्यपदेशात् प्रकरणात् इत्यतनाभ्यां च भूमा संप्रसादादत्युपदेशात् धर्मोपपत्तेश्च अक्षरमम्बरान्तधृतेः सा च प्रशासनात् अन्यभावव्यावृत्तेश्च ईक्षति कर्म व्यपदेशात् सह ईक्षति कर्म व्यपदेशात् सह. Let us read the Bhashya. Page 275. परमेव ब्रह्म इह अभिध्यातव्यमुपदिश्यते. कस्मात् ईक्षति कर्म व्यपदेशात्. ईक्षतिर्दर्शनम् दर्शनव्याप्यम्. ईक्षति कर्म ईक्षति कर्मत्वेन. अस्याभिध्यातव्यस्य पुरुषस्य वाक्यशेषे व्यपदेशः भवति. सैतस्मात् जीवघनान्. Loudly please. परात् परं पुरुषयम् पुरुषम् ईक्षते इति तत्राभिध्यायते. अतथाभूतमपि वस्तु कर्म भवति. मनोरथकल्पितस्य अपि अभिध्यायति कर्मत्वात्. ईक्षते सु तथा भूतमेव वस्तु लोके कर्म दृष्टमिति. अतः परमात्मा एव अयम् सम्यक् दर्शन विषयभूत ईक्षति कर्मत्वेन व्यपदिष्ट इति गम्यते. स एव चेह परपुरुष शब्दाभ्याम् अभिध्यातव्यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते. ननु अभिध्याने परः पुरुष उक्तः. ईक्षणे तु परात् परः कथम् इतरत्य प्रत्यभिज्ञायते इति अत्रोच्यते. परपुरुष शब्दौ तावदुभयत्र साधारणो न च अत्र जीवघन शब्देन प्रकृतः अभिध्यातव्यः परः पुरुषः परामृश्यते. तेन तस्मात् परात् परः अयमीक्षितव्यः पुरुषोऽन्यः स्यात्. कस्तर्हि जीवघन इति उच्यते. घनो मूर्तिः जीवलक्षणो घनो जीवघनः. सैन्धव्यखिल्यवद्यः परमात्मनः जीवरूपः खिल्यभावः. उपाधिकृतः परश्च विषेन्द्रियेभ्यः सूत्रजीवगण इति अपराः स सामभिरुन्नीयते ब्रह्मलोकम् इति अतीतानन्तरवाक्यनिर्दिष्टः यो ब्रह्मलोकः परश्च लोकान्तरेभ्यः स्वत्र जीवघन उच्यते। जीवानां हि सर्वेषां करणपरिवृत्तानां सर्वकरणात्मनि हिरण्यगर्भे ब्रह्मलोकनिवासिनी संघातोपपत्तेः भवति ब्रह्मलोको जीवघनः तस्मात् परो यः परमात्मा ईक्षणकर्मभूतः स एव अभिध्यानेऽपि कर्मभूत इति गम्यते परं पुरुषम् इति च विशेषणम् परमात्मा परिग्रह एव वकल्पते। परो हि पुरुषः परमात्मा एव भवति यस्मात् परं किंचित् अन्यत् नास्ति पुरुषान्न परं किंचित् सा काष्ठा सा परागतिः इति च श्रुत्यन्तरात् परं च ब्रह्म यदोंकारः इति च विभज्यान्तरमोंकारेण परं पुरुषमभिध्यातव्यम् ब्रुवन् परमेव ब्रह्म परं पुरुषं गमयति यथा पादोदरस्त्वचा विनिर्मुच्यत एवं हवै स पाप्मना विनिर्मुच्यते इति पाप्मविनिर्मोक फलवचनं परमात्मानम् इह अभिध्यातव्यं सूचयति। अथ यदुक्तं परमात्माभिध्यायिनः न देशपरिच्छिन्नं फलं पूज्यते इति अत्रोच्यते। त्रिमात्रेण ओंकारेण आलम्बनेन परमात्मानमभिध्यायतः फलं ब्रह्मलोकप्राप्तिः क्रमेण च सम्यक् दर्शनोत्पत्तिरिति। क्रम उक्तभिः क्रममुक्ति अभिप्रायम् एतद् भविष्यति इति अदोषः we were seeing the Ikshati Karma Adhikaran. And this Adhikaran has only one sutra. And this Adhikaran is based on Prashnopanishad, where Satyakama has asked the question to Pippalad Rishi about the Onkar Upasana. And in that topic of Onkar Upasana, he said there are two kinds of Onkar Upasana. One is of Apara Brahma, another is of Para Brahma. In that process, he introduced A, O and Ma Matra. So one who contemplates or does Upasana of only A Matra, he is taken by the Rigved mantras and brought back into this earth with three major qualities in his mind, that is Shraddha, Brahmacharya and Tapasya. That I already told you is a gifted thing. You can put effort in certain thing, but effort will not make you get that thing. It is the gift of the God that certain quality resides in you in its fullness. So, any quality like tapasya, brahmacharya, or vidya may be in you in part. That is because of your effort. But the fully availability of such qualities is gifted because of your upasana. I told this point earlier also. So don't think that by effort you can become even good musician also. Too much effort will definitely bring some excellence in your work, but the stability of any excellence in your mind and the brilliancy will has to be gifted by the God, whether he is a player or whether he is a dancer, whether he is a musician. When you come in the spiritual path, you have to have lot of inner values and virtues. And what makes this path difficult is that virtue has to be present in full measure. Partial measure if some virtue is present. So there is one seeker's body in you. One body is outer body, one is a seeker's body, whose limbs may be brahmacharya, tapasya, upasana, guru bhakti, Ishwar bhakti, self-control, inclination towards studying the scriptures, or inclination towards having satsang, or the faith in God, or the study of Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana. These are the limbs of the seeker's body in you. And if one part of any limb is undeveloped or broken, supposing you don't study, then you will be finding difficult in your sadhana. As is your body, head, legs, hand, eyes, tongue, every portion has to be developed to be a comfortable body. So comfortable seeker's body where you can say I'm fulfilled as a seeker is very rare to find, because our seeker's personality is not developed. Some people are good in studies, good in understanding, but they are not humble. Some are very humble, but they are not good in their sadhana. Some are good in their sadhana, humble also, but their bhakti is not developed. Some have bhakti also, but this passion is not developed, so bhakti is washed off from time to time. Some have dispassion, but ahankar is there. So there are so many components in the seeker's body that unless all components are developed, you cannot even sit for a long hour of quiet meditation or quiet jap, because the other issues will distract you and keep you occupied in the worldly matters. So seeker has no house, he has no money, he has no family. So scripture have gave him the freedom. Okay, I give you freedom from all that area. You don't have to cook food, you don't have to get clothes, you don't have to do market, you don't have to, you're not responsible for any person like a grahast person is responsible for father, mother, children. He has been exempted from all these so that he can focus 100%. But if brahmacharya is not developed, tapasya is not developed, upasana is not developed, I'm using the word. I'm not saying he does it. If tolerance is not developed, forgiveness is not developed, I see fault of this person, humility is not developed, so such a person will struggle a lot in his sadhana. Not much change he can bring in his sadhana. He is falling and rising, falling and rising. And therefore, one who does akaropasana, these Rig Ved mantras, bring him back to the human body with developed seeker's body. One who does ukaropasana, he is taken to Swarglok or Pitralok by Yajurved mantras. And of course, he will also come back after exhaustion of that karma. But our topic is not these two. The topic under discussion is U and Ma Upasak. And if you know, I have been taking this Adhikaran. In this Adhikaran, it is said that this person does the Upasana. Open your mantra pushpam now and keep it open. In that, it is written here, Yaha punaha etam trimatrena om iti etena ev aksharena param purusham abhidhyayita. Till here is the Upasana Vakya. I told yesterday, this here is the Upasana Vakya, Dhyan Vakya, meditation sentence. Then from Sa Tejasi Surya Sampanna, from here, from Sa is the Phal Vakyam. Phal Vakyam. He is endowed with the Shukla Paksh, and as the snake leaves its skin, Sahavai sa papmana vinirmuktaha, he is free from the sins. Here sins means mental impurities like Kam, Krodh, Irsha, Dvesh, Lobh, attraction for worldly things. Sins means through which you are not able to concentrate on Lord for a longer time. For intensity and extensity is missing in your life of sadhana. That is a sin. That is a sin. Because of his meditation, he is free from the sins. See, that beauty of Upasana is there. And then, Sa Samabhi Unniyate, he is led. Unniyati means led. Ut word means up always. Like Udan values. Wherever Ut comes, like that. Belching. Something is coming up. An means prana. An means prana. Udan, Vyan, Saman, Gata, soon. So where in Sanskrit Ut comes, it is something like that, up. Like belching is there, or vomiting is there. In vomiting, belching. So there is something, the Vayu, as if it comes up. So Ut Niyate. So Niyate means it leads. So leading can be forward also. Like the commander is leading. But Ut means upper lokas. Unniyate. Unniyate. And where he leads to? Brahmalokam. He is led to Brahmalokam. And then what happens in Brahmalokam? In Brahmalokam is not complete. In Brahmalok, he is now exposed to the Shravana of the Shastra. So what was the Paroksh Gyan, that Brahman is existing? This becomes a Aparoksh Gyan, that Brahman Asti, it has become Brahman Asmi. Brahman is there, this knowledge is transformed into Brahman I am. And then Param Purusham Ikshate. So here's the knowledge. Iksha means Jnanam. Ikshate means he knows that Purush. This is the 3 steps are there. One step is he does Upasana. Second step is matured Upasana takes him to Brahmalok. And third step is in Brahmalok he has the knowledge of the self. This is the point here. What was the point of controversy or discontentment with the Sankhya, etc.? Is that the Param Purusha mentioned in the Upasana Vakya, is it Hiranyagarbha or is it Paramatma? I am repeating things so you can recap. So Param Purusha word is, please note, 2 places Param Purusha word is coming. One place is in the Upasana Vakya, that is coming in the Phal Vakya. So in the Upasana Vakya, that Param Purusham word is coming. Urpaksh said it is referring to Hiranyagarbha. And Bhagavan Vedavyas said it is referring to Paramatma. When it is said to Hiranyagarbha, Hiranyagarbha means Brahmalok. It is a lok. And when it is said Paramatma, so I meditate upon that Ishwar who is infinite, is not in Deshkal, without any conditionings. But he is mentioned as, he is meditated as someone different than me. I hope you understand this point. So this is the difference of the Upasana. So here, what is mentioned here, please be careful. Bhagavan Vedavyasa said that in the Phal portion, Param Purusham Ikshate word has been mentioned. Iksha means he knows. He knows the Param Purusha. Knowing the Param Purusha will, if you take the meaning of Hiranyagarbha, because if he was meditating only on Hiranyagarbha, he will go to Hiranyagarbha only. And if he knows that Hiranyagarbha, there is no cessation of sorrows. And therefore it will be futile effort It has not borne its fruit. And therefore, this karma called Ikshati tells, because he knows, and this is Upanishad, that means his problem must be sorted out forever. Therefore, what he meditated must not be Hiranyagarbha, but be Paramatma. This is called Ikshati Karma Vyapadeshat Saha. I hope this is clear. Now some Purupaksh comes. So one or two Purupaksh is there. It is to make you mentally alert and make your commitment to what is said here. Shall we discuss the Purupaksh or leave it? Discuss it. Okay, I'll discuss it and then complete it, and then I will leave. The Purupaksh says on this point, are you following everything? You have to follow it, because Purupaksh will not understand otherwise. If you don't follow each statement, you'll miss the link. Purupaksh is intelligent Purupaksh. It is not a simple Purupaksh. He says, he gives two arguments. He said, what you said, I don't agree. That is, I understood you don't agree. What you said. So there are two arguments. One is argument number one. He says, you said that he knows the Param Purusha. So Param Purusha is the object of knowledge. And therefore he is mukt and he is free. And therefore you said that the word Purush means Paramatma and not Hiranyagarbha. I have a doubt to your point. Okay, what is your doubt? Please tell me. He said, please see the mantra. Please see the mantra properly. What is the mantra saying? Especially the Phalvak you see. Okay. Phalvak says, I'm taking a part of the Phalvak. Sa samabhir unniyate brahmalokam sa yetasma jeev ghana parat param purishayam purusham ikshate. Okay. So there is one word coming called parat param. Okay. So this parat. So this parat means, the parat is an adjective. And therefore you have to supply parat purushat. Get this point. This parat, para is an adjective. So what can be the noun of this? So noun can be one purush. So parat, which is fifth case. So there are parat. Param is second case. So param is adjective of purush. So there are two purush. One is parat purush, other is param purush. Parat purush is in the fifth case, ablative case. And param purush is in the second case. Okay. So what do you want to say? Let us put as parat purush as the first purush and param purush as the second purush. For our convenience in understanding. Okay. Let us rephrase the whole thing. So sentence will be like this. Saha, sa means upasaka, sa upasaka. Parat purushat param purusham ikshate. Just be careful. He's saying there are two Purush. One is Parat Purush, other is Param Purush. And he says that if you rephrase the whole thing or extend it properly, if you write, how it will be? Saha Parat Purushat Param Purusham Ikshate. He sees Param Purush, seeker, or upasak. And that Param Purusha is superior than another Purush called Parapurush, for whom than the Parapurush number 1. So Parapurush number 2 is superior than Parapurush number 1. Because Parat word, 5th case, is to tell superiority. Ramat, than Rama. So than Rama, Krishnat. So where than word comes, Param means superior than. Okay. So how will you say the whole sentence in English? Upasak knows the Paramatma who is superior to he says this first Purush is Hiranyagarbha and second Purush is Paramatma. So Upasak knows the Paramatma which is superior than Hiranyagarbha. Purush number 1 is Hiranyagarbha. Purush number 2 is Paramatma. So Param Purusham Ikshate. But this Param Purusha is superior than the first Purush. Okay. So what is your problem? I am saying, so this Param Parapurusha can be Hiranyagarbha or it can be Paramatma. How can you say? So you cannot take the Phal Vakyam to support the Dhyan Vakyam. So there are two Purushas mentioned. And not one Purusha is mentioned in the Phal Vakyam. But still there are two Purusha at least. No, wait. He said, please see the Phal Vakyam. Phal Vakyam says, he is Sa Tejasi Suryo Sampanna. He is endowed with Shuklagati. And Sa Samabhir Unniyate Brahmalokam. He is taken to Brahmalok by Samved Devatas. He said, when he goes to Brahmalok, is it the same as Hiranyagarbha Lok or not? He said, yes. So he goes to Hiranyagarbha Lok. He said, unless he had done Hiranyagarbha Upasana, how will you go to Hiranyagarbha Lok? When you agree that he goes to Hiranyagarbha Lok, so his phal is that he goes to Hiranyagarbha Lok. Yes. If anybody contemplates, only then he can go to that lok. Yanti devavrata devan pitrun yanti pitravrataha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajino bimam. If anybody contemplates on Bhut Pret, he'll become Bhut Pret. This is snake charmers will become a snake in the next birth. Snake charmers are there. If somebody is contemplating only on zoo animals, he'll become another animal. So if he goes to Brahmalok, so he must be contemplating on Hiranyagarbha only. Therefore, the meaning of Param Purusha in the Dhyan Vakya should be Hiranyagarbha and not Paramatma. This is my argument number 1. I hope you are in sync. These are the words used nowadays. I'm in sync with him. Sync. You are in sync. So he said in short, there are both the Purush is mentioned in the Phalvakya. Hiranyagarbha Purush and Paramatma Purush also. Purush number 1 and Purush number 2. Purush number 1 is Hiranyagarbha and Purush number 2 is Paramatma. We cannot use the logic that he sees the only that. He said both of them are used. You cannot take one Purush as the one that he knows this and therefore the Upasana will be of that. This is the first argument. Answer will be given, don't worry. First understand the question. Second argument. Are you following the argument? So first he said in the first argument that there are two Purush used. Hiranyagarbha is from the word Parat Purush. The other is called Param Purush. So you cannot say that he knows Param Purush only and therefore he must have Hiranyagarbha. I'm saying if supposing I use the word because other Purush is also there. So he has done Upasana of that Purush also and therefore he has gone to Brahmalok. This is argument number 1. What is argument number 2? Argument number 2 is, he says that Param Purush number 1 is in 5th case and Param Purush number 2 is in 2nd case. Okay? Okay, yes. He says that Param Purush number 1, Parat, is preceded one by one pronoun if you can see. What is that pronoun? See? What is that pronoun, right? Etasmat, Eshaha, Etau. Esha, Etau, Ete, Etam, Enam, Etau, Enau, Etan, Enan, Etena, Enena, Etabhyam, Etei, Etasmai, Etabhyam, Etebhyah, Etasmat. Etasmat. You cannot run away from pronouns, etc. More you run, more it will chase you. Best is to just go through it. Problem with brahmacharis is they try to run away from this Sanskrit thing. I'm not saying you have to become Sanskrit scholar, but you should know minimum things, basic things. Basic things. Etasmat, etabhyam, etebhyah, etasya, etayoho, etesham, etasmin, etayoho, eteshu. Simple. But if you don't know, it will become complicated. If you don't know something, that simple thing will appear scary to you. When I see people driving car, I get scared. I say, how can they drive car in highway so far? How can they take a turn How will they take U-turn? Such a high-speed car is there. Supposing he misses something, then he will knock the car on the middle, what is it called, barrier. And when you start learning, you are also scared. Because many cars are around. So it's so scary that if I make mistake, I'll hit some car. But once you are full control of your car, therefore keep on. You have the license, but you don't drive. 5 years license is there, I think. After that, you have to renew it. If you don't renew the license, you have to again go for the test, which you will surely fail. So, twice you took the pass. But if you renew, you don't have to go for a test. If you renew beforehand, but you don't drive, so you will never have the confidence. It is that subject when you are not in touch. Vidya, it is also Vidya, so you have to practice it. Okay. So, etasmat. Keep on revising. One form. Masculine is there. So, feminine is there. Feminine will go with Esha, Ete, Taha, Etam, Enam, Ete, Ene, Eta, Enaha. Then Etaya, Enaya, Etaya, Enaya, Etabhyam, Etabhi, Etasya, Etabhyam, Etabhya, Etabhya, not Etebhya, Etabhya. Then Etasya, Etabhyam, Etabhya. Then Etasya, Etayo, Etasam. Then Etasyam, Etayo, Etasu. बस हो गया. Let me come to the point now. Grammar peeps. And it peeps, he says, I'm also there. Talk about me also. Know about me also. I'm also there. He keeps on raising his hand. And if you bypass it and neglect it, it gets upset. So here, Purva Paksh is saying that Parapurush number 1. I hope you are following number 1, number 2. If you don't follow, I'm not responsible, I'm repeating it. He said this is preceded by a pronoun called a tasmat. Okay. Please note, Parapurush, Parat is adjectiva Purushat. That is called Hiranyagarbha. He says this pronoun can be used only when the noun has been introduced beforehand. Okay. So this noun is used with respect to Hiranyagarbha and not the second Purush. Okay. How do you know that? How do you know that this noun has been used with respect to Hiranyagarbha and not with second? Because Brahmalok word has been coming. Oh. So that Brahmalok word which is coming there, and after that Etasmat word has been coming. Supposing you say, he went to, what is it called? He went to Omphalanga. Omphalanga? No. Where Rishiraj? Huh? Arey nahi bhai. Where near Johannesburg, it is 6 hours. Omphalanga is there. Huh? Om Pal. अरे 1% से ओम पोम्बलांगा. ओ हाँ एम फलांगा. Okay, whatever is there. It's a Zulu name, I think. And supposing I say he went to that Pompalanga. And next sentence I say from there. So from there, Panchami, if I'm using, then it has to refer to the noun only immediately. First noun which is preceding that pronoun should be actually the meaning of that. Okay. He says, so Purpaksh. Purpaksh is only talking right now. Bhaskar is not talking here. He said, you first express what you have, then I'll talk about that. He said, we infer that Purush number 1 should have been already introduced. And then only this pronoun will be. And we have to look for this introduction. We have to look for the introduction of this pronoun. And this introduction is in Dhyan Vakya. You agree that Parat Purushat refers to Hiranyagarbha? Yes. If the Param Purusha word mentioned in the Dhyan Vakya was not Hiranyagarbha, then how he will use this word as Hiranyagarbha in the Phal Vakya? And if this was not Hiranyagarbha, which one? Parat Purusha. Because I am saying it is superior than this Hiranyagarbha is the Param Purusha. So Parat Purushat Param Purusha. Superior than the bolo, Hiranyagarbha is the Param Purusha. Now if I search for what is the adjective, what is the noun corresponding to the pronoun, so we have to go to the Sadhya or Upasana Vakya or Dhyan Vakya. In that Dhyan Vakya Para Purusha is used. Now if the Dhyan Vakya had the meaning of Paramatma, then immediately after that Hiranyagarbha cannot be used. And therefore there the meaning should be of Hiranyagarbha to justify this Parat Purushat, Etasmat, because Parat Purushat is coming with Etasmat Parat. Etasmat Parat refers to Hiranyagarbha. So therefore the Dhyan Vakya should be meaning the meaning of Hiranyagarbha. So two logic he gave. One is the Brahmalok logic, other is pronoun logic. I hope you are following it. Now the challenge for Bhashyakar is to refute these two arguments and then give the answer also. What is the answer now? We'll see it. He says, see the answer. So first, refuting first Purpaksh. What is the first Purpaksh? There are two Purush, and in this two Purush, there is a Brahmalok Prapti will say that Brahmalok, that Hiranyagarbha Dhyan is there. There are two Purush in the Phal Vakya, and in that Purush there is a Brahmalok Prapti. That means Hiranyagarbha Lok Prapti, and therefore Hiranyalok Dhyan is there. And therefore, in the Dhyan Vakya, sentence like Param Purusha means Hiranyagarbha and not Paramatma. Just please follow it. If you don't follow, then you will not understand. Bhashkar gives the answer. He said, what you are saying, Hiranyagarbha Lok Prapti, is okay. I agree with that point. But what you are not understanding is that here Brahmalok Prapti was an intermediary step. It was not the ultimate result. If it was the ultimate result, then Upanishad should not have said what? Sa etasmat param purusham ikshate. There are 3 steps. One, he does upasana. Then he goes to Brahmalok. Then he has the knowledge of the Brahman. And he sees the self. You are saying he did Hiranyagarbha upasana because fruit is written of that he went to Brahmalok. But what you are missing, that mantra continues after Brahmalok also. Hiranyagarbha Prapti is only a intermediary step. It was a hopping flight. Actually, the step after Hiranyagarbha, supposing you have to go to some place and your ticket is still New York or Frankfurt. And in Frankfurt, you had a stoppage. You had a lay down for 12 hours, sometimes 24 hours. Flight is not there. You are in Frankfurt. But ultimately, your ticket is showing New York. That means you would have contemplated about New York before you took the ticket and not the Frankfurt. If you were contemplating only till the Frankfurt, your ticket would not have taken you to New York. This seeker went to Brahmalok and didn't stay there. This seeker went to Brahmalok. After that, he had a knowledge of Brahman. And then he attained that Paramatma. That means before going to Brahmalok, he should have contemplated on the Paramatma alone. I hope you got the point. If you have not got, don't worry. Do anything, but don't worry. Neither have worry, neither create worry for others. I hope this is clear. So, Paramatma Gyan is the ultimate fruit. And therefore, he must have thought about Paramatma and not Hiranyagarbha. So, sadhana must be Paramatma upasana. Then only it will give you the sadhya of the Paramatma. Because as is your contemplation, ultimately that only you will reach to. If you have contemplated on the ticket of New York station, final station, then only you can reach the ultimate destination. Final destination is called. Vaya. But that was the final destination. Oh. And therefore in the Dhyan Vakya, the word Param Purusham should mean Paramatma and not Hiranyagarbha. You don't stop at Brahmalok. Om Ityeka Aksharam Brahma. Hello? 8th chapter you had by heart, no? No? Some shlokas. Om Itye. Who did 8th chapter? 8th chapter has been done here. Huh? He was not there. Okay. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Ma Manusparan Yap Prayati Tajam Tajadneham Sayati Paramam Gadam. That shlok and this prakran is same. In 8th chapter. That is a Kram Mukti prakran. You know, in the 8th chapter there is a prakran that contemplate on the Omkar at the time of death. Then you leave the Prana. So that is the prakarana or the topic of Kram Mukti, not Jivan Mukti. So how will you conclude the whole discussion? Paramatma upasanena Paramatma jnana phalam. By the upasana of Paramatma, you are getting the fruit. Ultimate fruit will tell what upasana he has done. If somebody has gone to Saket Lok means Lok of Bhagwan Ram. That means he must have done upasana of Bhagwan Ram. Somebody has done upasana of Bhagwan Krishna. How do you know? He went to Golok. Somebody has done upasana of Lord Shiva. He has gone to Kailash. But somebody attains simple Brahman Lord. That means he must have done Brahmopasana. So from the end result you can find out what he could have done. What he could have done. Seeing the effect you can infer about the cause. Somebody is in jail. Automatically you understand he must have done some crime. So because he is reaching the knowledge of the Brahman, therefore he must have done Brahmopasana, Paramatmupasana, and not Hiranyagarbhopasana. This is first answer to the first argument. Second argument answer. Pronoun 1. Pronoun 1. He said pronoun is coming. Etasmat Purushat is a Hiranyagarbha. And therefore he must have done Hiranyagarbhopasana. Now, he said, your steps are valid up to a limit, but you are making one mistake. What is my mistake? Bhashyakar says, first of all, I accept that this word called Etasmat is used in Phalvakya. And I also accept that Hiranyagarbha must have been discussed earlier. I also accept that. But your conclusion that because of this reason Hiranyagarbha is discussed in Dhyan Vakya is not right. Why is not right? Hiranyagarbha is discussed here, but it is discussed as Brahmalok. You jump that Brahmalok step. See, here it is written, please see the mantra. See the mantra. Sa samabhir unniyate brahmalokam sa etasmat jivkhanat. So, before the pronoun word, you jumped the word Hiranyagarbha and went straight to the Upasana portion. It is like that. You know, Ram is talking to Lakshmana. Ram said to Lakshmana, go to Ayodhya. Then he replied. Now when it is said he replied, this he will not refer to Ram, he will refer to latest one, which is Lakshmana there. already when Brahmalok had come, and you should to take the immediate noun and not the distant noun. An immediate noun was Brahmalok and not the Parampurusha. Brahmalok is the immediate noun, if you remember that. Sa tejasi surye sampanna yatha padodarat pacha vinirmuchyate evam savai papana vinirmuktah sa samavir unniyate brahmaloka. Lam brahmalokam. So this brahmalokam word is coming before etasmat. And therefore, here Brahma refers to Hiranyagarbha. And hence, Hiranyagarbha has been discussed in the Phalvakya, in the word Brahma, by Brahmalok. And therefore, etasmat refers to Hiranyagarbha. And etasmat does it does not, Hiranyagarbha does not come in the Dhyan Vakya. It comes in the Phalvakya. So why you are going to Dhyan Vakya? Why you are connecting this adjective to the noun called Parapurusha of the Dhyan Vakya? You don't connect this there. You connect to Brahmalok straight away. Closest noun is Brahmalok. And closest is not the Parapurusha, which is the Dhyan Vakya. Okay, if you understood, very good. If you have not understood, then also not so bad. You can put some little more effort and you can understand that. Don't worry, that's the only thing. So what is the final statement? One should meditate upon Paramatma, then he will know. Then he will know that Paramatma, who is superior than Hiranyagarbha. Please note, one should meditate upon Paramatma, then he will know about the Paramatma, which is superior than Hiranyagarbha, who is in Brahmalok. Again, say again, such a long sentence. Say it very slowly. One should meditate upon Paramatma so that he knows the Paramatma, which is superior than Hiranyagarbha. This Hiranyagarbha resides in Brahmalok. But 3 statements are there. So pronoun refers to Phalvakyastha Hiranyagarbha. Etasmat pronoun refers to Phalvakyastha Hiranyagarbha and not to Dhyan Vakyastha Parampurusha. Okay. This is the answer refuting the 2 Purupaks. Now he has to say certain points which we will see tomorrow. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.